Adventure in Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Rockville. North America's largest rock festival is finally here.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm here with
Morgoth,
Alejandro,
Taylor,
Josh Johnson from 7 Hours After Violet.
Nice. Here at Welcome to Rockville. Did you just ride the Speedway?
Oh, we were going fast and we were going left.
Nice. Did they come chasing you?
Yes. I'm scared. Yeah, I was pretty scared for my life. We went down pit lane. I thought that we were going to die. We were going so fast. But the golf cart lady saved us.
Nice.
She was a great driver. She won Daytona, so it's good for her.
That's why I want to see like golf cart races out there. That would be. I'm gonna tell them next year. That's what they should do as like an added bonus to the festival, like a super VIP. You get to watch the golf cart races on the Speedway.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So, have any of you played at Rockville before in your other projects at all?
I played on Friday.
You played on Friday.
I played, yeah. But I'm in that other band, Left to Suffer. We played 1 o'clock on Friday. Same sage that we're playing today, so it's cool. I just get to come back.
So you're used to it, right?
Yeah, I came back and all the security was just like, "What's up, man? You're playing again?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it again, but at like later date, which is cool." So,
how wild is it? As hot as it was on Friday, the crowd that you had out there.
It was insanity. I was like so nervous because we played like early, but people just showed out and it was incredible. And we had a great set and a lot of energy, a lot of crowd surfing, a lot of moshing, which was crazy because I was like, man, you wouldn't catch me dead.
Right.
Camping and coming out. I was like, bro, I'm such a prima donna. I was like, I can't do this. But people are out there shirtless, like throwing elbows at people at literally at 11 o'clock in the morning half the time, sprinting in through the gates. I was like, man, these guys are savages, dude. It's crazy.
I know. I have much honor for them because I love to mosh, but when it's like 100 degrees out, midday sun, I'm like, yeah, I'll wait till later.
Yeah, I have so much respect for it, dude. I was just waiting for someone to drop our entire set. I was so hot on stage, even because it was at noon, and I was like, the sun was beaming at that point. It was like 98 degrees, 99 degrees when we were playing.
Wow.
And, I'm from the South, so I'm used to the humidity, but it's still, I moved to LA, so I got like decommissioned from it.
I know.
And now I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I live in this, dude? This is miserable.
It's funny because I used to live in LA and I live in South Florida now. So this is normal weather to me and I still can't handle it.
It's rough.
But now I go back to LA and like, I thought it was warm here.
No.
I remember it being warm.
Yeah.
Before I got to Florida.
Absolutely.
And then my friends are all like, man, it's humid today. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. You don't know what humidity is.
No doubt.
From the South, it's different.
So that's cool. And I have my hats off to you guys even playing this shit, man. I don't even know how you do it.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
We're happy.
That's what's definitely cool. And let's talk about the band and your message, because that's really important, I think, and what you talk about in your songs and your mental health awareness and anxiety, because it's so rampant nowadays. And I think people need help, and music, to me, is the best therapy.
Yeah, for sure. That was something when, we were just making the album. Honestly, it almost was like an unspoken thing. We just would work on lyrics and just fall into like ideas of that. I think it's one of those things that's so common now. You don't even really have to think about it so much because everyone has some sort of issue. Yeah, everyone has some sort of mental health issue. So talking about it in music is a good therapy because it's like a release for it.
Yeah, totally. I've said all along, like, first of all, that 2-year lockdown, I think that's what made people even more anxiety, more pissed, more mental health problems and stuff because they had no outlet. Like we're talking about the pit. For me, I go in the pit to get all my shit out so I'm not beating the shit out of somebody or worse. And you get it out in the pit.
Yeah, definitely. Not going to concerts sucked. All that sucked. And it definitely took a harder toll on some people than others. But yeah, it's not like we were trying to be the flag bearers for like, guys, we're aware of mental health. It's just like we were just writing songs that felt cool to us.
That's what's important. If it's good for you guys and cool to you guys, then you're going to attract your people.
1,000%.
So nowadays, I think, here's my idea. We should have a music festival that the whole world is required to attend, one massive festival so that we can all be united and get therapy at the same time. And I think that's how we'll solve the world's problems.
That's great. That lineup would be crazy.
It's almost like how Hellfest was after COVID. Because I did that Hellfest, 360 bands.
Wow.
In 7 days. I don't know how I survived it. It was like 104 there, too.
Wow. That's insane.
I was doing interviews where literally the sweat was dripping down all of our faces. My eyes were burning. I couldn't even see who I was interviewing. And like, it was wild.
So who would be in terms of this worldwide fest, who would be the headliner?
That's a good question. If it were my choice,
Yeah.
I'll give you my radio answer and then my me answer.
Okay.
My radio answer is you guys.
Oh, crap. That's not going to bring world peace.
I don't know if my answer would bring world peace, but it would be Slayer.
That's crazy.
So, this is my battle vest from the 80s.
Wow.
I was at Slayer's first show ever, Metallica's first show ever. That's why I have this. Yeah. I got Exploited on there, Discharge somewhere.
You got battle.
I got Definite Suicidal. I got Battalion of Saints, Exciter.
Exodus?
What?
That Exodus?
Exodus, yep. And, it's back in the day where you didn't buy a vest, you bought the denim. I did all this shit. Like
Crazy.
Dark Angel. And then here's the history of what happened to me in the pit on this side. Oh, and that thing, Slayer in the back, they didn't have Slayer patches yet. So I just put that on there. People thought I was a gangbanger in LA, and that was my gang name.
That's sick. Slayer.
No posers, because we were in that gatekeeper time.
That's actually sick.
Right? I got DRI on here. Like, I have a bunch of bands on here that I wasn't allowed to go to their shows then because I had long hair. And you got your ass beat. It was stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of crossover thrash bands. Where are you from?
LA.
LA. So was there like still in this time period when you made this vest like a big gap between metal and punk, or was this like a lot more?
That's what it was.
Starting to be more united.
Here's the thing.
Because you have like SOD, you have a lot of like more punk adjacent stuff.
Metal heads love. Like the thrash metal heads, I was a total thrash metal head. We love punk, but we couldn't go to punk shows. Even Suicidal, okay? Suicidal was punk before they crossed over.
Yeah.
If you were a long hair and went to a Suey Boy show, because that's when they were the Suey Boy, they would have switchblades in the pit, and they will shank you if you're a long hair. And it was same opposite, too. I went to the first crossover show ever. And it was at this place, the Sun Valley Sportsman's Lodge. It was like an Elks Lodge, and there was no security. And it was the first time punks and metalheads were at a show together. On the punk side, it was COC Pre-Pepper, which I think I have them on here somewhere. It was Suicidal pre-crossover, and it was the Descendants. On the metal side, it was Possessed, Dark Angel, and this band Savage Grace, who was a big thrash band then. And it was absolute fucking mayhem. Like, I don't think I've ever been a more brutal show. There was no place to hide. I have a vision in my head of just people flying through the air because they were all diving off the rafters, crisscrossing. It was insane.
Sick.
And when I interviewed COC twice, one time was Mike and one time was Woody. You may not remember this show, and I just started to say one thing, they both did the same thing. It was at like an Elks Lodge, right? Oh my God, that was the most epic show ever. And that's what really started us being able to go to shows together and stuff, and where we could commingle.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, I figured since you were there and you had all the different things, I'm just curious.
Yeah, back then there was you couldn't do anything. I went to get my spikes at Posers on Melrose.
Oh yeah, that's still there.
Right. But at that time, so I brought my punk friends with me because you weren't allowed to go there if you were a metalhead. So I'm like, I figured, okay, if I go with my punk friends, they were friends with the owners. It's cool. We walk in, 30 seconds later, my bros, we need to get out. And I'm like, why? And he's like, I'll tell you when we get outside. And then he pulls us out. Yeah, the owners gave some respect because they know us. And they gave us 30 seconds to get you out of the store before they were going to kick the shit out of you.
Crazy time.
It's wild, right? Like, we were the ones... The metalheads were getting the shit kicked out of us by the jocks. The punks were getting the shit kicked out of them by the jocks. Why didn't we band together? I don't get it.
We'll figured it out eventually with all this crossover stuff.
No doubt, no doubt. I think Venom was a big part of it. Of course, Motorhead.
Yeah.
Slayer, because Lombardo and Jeff were punks.
Yeah.
And Kerry and Tom were the metalheads. Tom wasn't even a metalhead.
Like the bands like Knox at Front, Crow, Mags.
I love
that fun stuff.
I love all them too.
Biohazard.
Like we should be able to listen to whatever the fuck we want.
Now all the best stuff is a blend of that.
That's what I love. Like yesterday, I interviewed one band that they were thrash that bring in hardcore, and the other band hardcore that brought in thrash. And I love that.
Yep.
Today, I think it's most important to blend, and because everybody sounds the same with this algebraic equation sometimes, like how songs are written. So if you have a blend of different influences of the band members, you come up with something unique. And I think that's what you guys have.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. I think nowadays it's been like a long time since then. Punk, metal, and hardcore just like constantly are an interlapping thing that you can see that today. There's tons of bands that are from hardcore, but they sound metal. And
yeah.
We have like hardcore parts. We have metal parts. We purposefully try to blend that stuff.
So tell us how this all started.
Yeah. So me and Shavo started writing songs together just as I'm a songwriter and producer for a lot of different bands and artists. I was just like, hey, let's try writing some songs together and see if we have anything I could pitch to any artists I'm producing. And we started writing it. And I was like, this doesn't really sound like anything. I couldn't pitch it to anyone. It's like System of a Down, but more like modern, heavy. I was like, let's just make a solo project for you and do something a little heavier on the heavier side. Also a lot melodic too, but
right.
A little further than you would have probably gone naturally otherwise. So then we started doing that. And the first idea was to like get a bunch of different guest vocalists and come up with some cool epic album of all these features, kind of like DJ Khaled and metal vibe. But as we were making the music, all the people around us and like his management team and all that was like, yo, this is coming out great. You should just start a band like this because you can tour and all that. So we were writing music, but hadn't found a singer or like what direction to go in. And I started producing Taylor's band's album, Leap of Death, Up to Suffers. And in the process of producing that, Alejandro here did guest vocals on it, 2 songs. And me and Taylor were huge fans of him. I've known him since he used to come to hardcore shows in Pomona back in the day where he's from.
Nice.
But then we all saw him on TV in American Idol and all super big fans of his music. I was like, this pairing of vocalists would be sick in the band. So brought the idea to Shavo and he loved both of them. And Josh and him are in a band called Winds of Plague together. So I brought him along to start like jamming pretty early when we were writing songs to give the songs the real, have like a player on it. Because like, we'd write the songs, I'd program drums and then bring it to him and he'd play the drums.
Nice.
Yeah. So basically just kind of like that. That's kind of the rough view, you know, it was just like started one way and ended another way.
What were you thinking when he came to you with this?
Initially, I was just like writing music with him and there was like it wasn't like, hey, this is a band, this is going to be for someone else. But then it was like, then I started hanging out with Shava and writing with them together. And then it was just one time Shava was on the phone. He's like, yeah, Josh is playing drums. So I was like, sick. But I was never like initially a talk about me playing drums. But I'm glad it worked out because like we all get along very well too. So it's
so kid.
It's almost like it was meant to be. And we all vibe. And I'm digging, like, especially when it comes to our music really shows the vibe of everyone. So it's a cool little all-star lineup. I
love it. And your music is badass, man. What I love about it is a lot of people may think, oh, it's going to sound like System or whatever. It doesn't sound like anybody. And that's what I love about it. It sounds like you guys.
Yeah, we purposefully didn't want to run away from like Shavo's natural riff writing abilities because System's one of those bands, they play 3 notes and you know it's them. There's like instant identity there. And granted, we didn't want to run away from that all the way. Like we were like, no, play what you naturally would write. If it sounds like something you maybe would do for System, fine. But when Taylor and Alejandro sing on it, it sounds different. They write vocals differently and like approach that differently than obviously Serge and Darren would, you know. And then there's parts too that like System would never have, like some modern breakdowns and just things like that. We just write what we wanted to hear. And we just felt like there was a little bit of an open lane in terms of a lot of modern bands have been super influenced by Linkin Park, been super influenced by Slipknot. You know, there's lots of that out there and like other bands too. But no one's really done the like modern, heavier version. Yeah, no one's really done that System thing because they're such a weird band, but they're so sick it doesn't matter. So I was like, well, let's just do naturally what you would do and just blend our styles because me, Taylor, and Josh come from like deathcore bands, you know, and Alejandro is like a hardcore kid, but he comes from the more like shreddy acoustic singer-songwriter world. And we're just like, we blend all that together to see what it makes.
And how about you? What were you thinking when you were approached? For this?
I didn't really think much, honestly. It was like a spur of the moment, and it was awesome. Like, just to write music in general with these guys too. So I've been a fan of all their bands and everything that they've done. So me coming in, I just wanted to hear the melodies and see where it can go, and now we're here. It's
Nice.
crazy. It's dope. It's really dope.
And what you want to add to it?
It was just the craziest thing to get asked to try out, because right before we left, Morgoth played one of the songs that he was writing with Chavo. And I was just like, hey, like jokingly, because I was like, no way this dude's going to want me to. I'm a deathcore vocalist. This dude doesn't want me in this fucking band. So I was just like, hey, if you ever need a vocalist, hit me up. And then I go home and then I get hit up. And then I try out with, I think it was Feel. And I sent it back. And then Chavo ends up calling me and being like, bro, like, this is incredible. I want you to do another song. So I did Float. And he was just like, you're in, bro. Like, I love your voice. He was just like gassing me up. And it was just such a weird thing, because I've been such a fan of System since I was like a child. But I'm 27. So like I was a child when I first heard them. You know what I mean? And it's just overwhelming. And then just even working with these guys, bro, like I was a fan of everyone in the band. So it's cool to be able to respect and also like to collaborate with people that you've just been like, wow, these guys are incredible. You know what I mean? It came so like naturally too. We all got to the studio. I tracked it was like 16 songs in 2 weeks or something like that. And then me and Alejandro just clicked immediately. It was ridiculous. Like, we were working on my other, because he featured, like he said, on 2 of the songs on my other band. And I was like, man, I love this guy. And then I ended up joining this other band, and then he comes in and I'm like, dude, this is like the easiest person I've ever had to like work with vocally on something. And now we're like inseparable. Like everything that we do, it's like it's like someone works like, oh, we want Taylor, but we also want Alejandro, and it's just, I'm like, nah, I'm cool with that, dude. I'm like, he's the yin to my yang vocally, bro, and I couldn't ask for a better group of people to make music and play music live with. It's crazy. It's just insane.
I love hearing that too, between 2 vocalists, because I always think it's gotta be really hard to sync with another vocalist and be able to do it unless you have that chemistry.
Dude, I have never been able to work with somebody so like fluently other than him on vocals, because it's usually like one person's trying to shine and one person's trying to take the lead, and it's like he's just, yo, dude, let's just make something cool, and I'm the same way. Whoever sounds best on this, let's just do that. You know what I mean? And then he writes stuff and I'm like, that's incredible, and then I write stuff and he's like, that's incredible. So it's never been like I write something, he's like, I could do better than that. You know what I mean? There's no ego involved, and I think that so it's crazy with vocalists. It's hard, bro. There's a lot of ego involved with singing.
No doubt.
And it's hard to get to. I guess he's a high tier vocalist. He came in second on fucking American Idol. I didn't know what to expect, but I just, like I said, it was just so fluent and like natural, and now I never want him to leave my side. It's awesome.
Nice.
I'm in love with him, so see, it is what it is.
And it's good to hear there's a good vocalist from American Idol, because have you seen that Shut the Fuck Up girl? Have you seen?
No.
Okay, you gotta look it up.
Oh, Sophie Powers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my God, I was like, that was the funniest shit I ever saw. She knew she wasn't getting on, but
Oh, she's awesome.
I'm like obsessed with it, actually.
She's awesome.
Like when she did that, I was looking at it and I'm like, I had to watch it like 50 fucking times because I was so obsessed with it.
She's awesome.
Yeah, no, what she does is that was the trend. She stopped the trend now. Her trend was to wear a Band-Aid there. That was her look, okay? I'm going to tell you guys something funny, too, okay? I came back here last night after Incubus to wait for Lincoln Park, and I met up with the hairstylist that's associated with you guys, because Mike introduced me, and I'm known for changing my hair up all the time and doing it for publicity and doing it on the air. My hair was blue just a couple months ago, and
Nice.
she's coming over here, and she's going to do my hair live. And,
Nice.
and she wants to do it purple. I told her, you can do whatever the fuck you want in my hair. Now that my hair's short and not long, I don't give a fuck. It grows back. Just do whatever the fuck you want. And it was funny because I was wearing yesterday a System shirt, and I told her I specifically wore it yesterday because it would be fucking rude to wear it during the interview. Really? See, I think of that.
Yeah, we get it, dude. We get it. It's so much that it's not even rude, dude, because like we're fans too. You know what I mean? Like it is totally okay to us because we did signings in Mexico. Kids are coming out to see Chavo and be like, dude, he's in System of a Down. So it's never like, oh, I can't believe this guy's wearing a System shirt around me. You know what I mean? Because I would wear one too. You know what I mean?
I just think if I'm interviewing you, that's super rude.
It's so funny because I've actually heard that from somebody before I did the podcast interview and they were like, oh, I changed out of my System shirt. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm a fan too, dude. I was like, it's sick that I'm in a band with somebody from System. Like, it doesn't bother us at all.
That's like almost a fanboy moment for a musician.
Yeah, 1,000%.
All right, tell everybody how they can reach out to you guys on socials, on the web. Check out all your music, your merch, because they can't listen to my show unless they buy your merch.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can get everything at 7 Hours After Violet. That's on Instagram and everything too, on Facebook, right? Is that it?
Yeah, just add 7 Hours After Violet. You can find us Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, we just put out a new video for our song Float. And yeah, that's pretty simple.
Nice. I'm glad you're here at Welcome to Rockville. It's badass. And do you have any other festivals coming up?
Yeah, we have a lot. We're basically doing a run with Korn in Europe in a couple weeks and playing Hellfest, Download Fest.
I'm going to be at both of those.
Oh, I guess
we'll have to talk there too.
Yeah. Rock and Ring, Rock and Park, Resurrection, some off shows. Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if I get approved for Resurrection. You guys should play Bloodstock too in August.
I've heard about.
We're not playing.
Yeah, I don't think we're playing. I think we have we have some off shows with Korn too. I think one with Avenged Sevenfold, one with Korn and Spirit Box. So if you're in Europe, we're gonna be all over that bitch.
Love it. Thanks a lot, and thanks for being on the Adventures of Pipeman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.